The episode starts with a recollection of the first day Abel met with Abyss and how he told him that his devil's eye would now be used by him and he is now his tool. He commands him to come with him, and reluctantly, he attempts to go with Abel, although he calls his name behind him. Also, Blessed Minister sits to talk. He claims that there was a time when Mash had succeeded in defeating the Magna Lupis, and they say that the mission cannot be successful if Mash doesn't eventually become the divine visionary. They proceed to work on the street. The story is about no other person than Mash, a young boy with no magic skills who succeeded in getting admitted into the Eastern Magic Academy, and is facing some opposition before he can become the divine visionary. Some students dance around and play around, singing about who is the heroine and the hero. The heroine goes to Mash, asking him if he is the hero, and says that she is also the heroine. Other students watch them, wondering when they will stop their playful attempt. Mash walks beside Dot, Finn and Lemon and says he wants to get something. As he leaves, the students talk about him. They wonder if he is the same Mash with no magical skills and if he is the same person that doesn't have any magic power. After their contemplation, they ask about the handsome magician, Lance, and ask if he has lost during the battle. Suddenly, they see a strange man who stands in front of them, and they wonder what he is doing there. They ask him what he is doing, but without answering them, he hits them with magic and makes them fall, making Dot angry. Dot decides to retaliate, but the strange man leaves them, saying they aren't the reasons he had visited and he has another target. He goes to meet Abel, who is standing there without saying anything. He asks Abel if he is injured and why he looks like there is an injury on his face. He tells Abel that he doesn't know that Abel is so useless with no power at all, and if they had known that Abel is useless, they wouldn't have opted in to ask Abel for help. He tells Abel that he couldn't help them capture their target after several years and appreciates Abel for being at least useful in finding out the location of Wahlberg. Irrespective of that, he says that since Abel couldn't help them in their original mission, there is no reason why he is trying to stay alive. He claims he no longer needs Abel, and he has to kill him. He swipes his wand, and Abel sees that his hands change color. Suddenly, Abel's hands start strangling his neck. Abel realizes that his hand is moving without his consent, and he doesn't know what to do. He keeps strangling himself as the man tells him he has no use for their world again. The other students watch as this is happening without seeing anything, and coincidentally, Mash enters the hall with a tray of creamed puffs and asks his fellow students if he would like to eat creamed puffs with him. When the strange hears his voice, he is angry that someone has interrupted his action and wonders who is that person who doesn't know the best time to enter and why that person had interrupted his acts. He turns to Mash, who doesn't even behave like he could see anyone before him. The strange man suddenly starts feeling headaches. Dot and his friends try to caution Mash, but Mash is still behaving cluelessly, thereby making the strange man angry. When the man tries to attack Mash, even before he does anything, Mash throws the creamed puff he holds at him, and everything falls on his head. The students wonder if it is a coincidence that all that has happened, and when the puffs fall, the magic used on Abel stops, and he stops strangling himself. Seeing how powerful and confident Mash looks, he wonders if that is the boy they have been looking for and wonders if he should fight the boy. Mash tells him that the puffs on his head belong to the students, and they want to eat them, so if he doesn't mind, he should help them bring the puffs back so they can be edible. Angrily, the man throws the puffs away. He tells Mash that he will come back to him later, but before he comes to him, he should at least get done with the major reason he has visited there in the first place, which is Abel. He invokes another magic on Abel, and he creates a carbon nugget to stab Abel. As the carbon nugget is about to stab Abel, Mash runs to interfere, but before he gets there, Abyss jumps in, and he takes the nugget. He collapses as both Abel and Mash scream his name. He apologizes to Mash that he wouldn't be able to eat creamed puffs with him again, but Mash walks closer to her. Mash brings out a magic handkerchief and tells him to use it for the main time before they can take him for his treatment. The man knows the weight of his power and feels there is no way a magic handkerchief can stop the effect of his magic unless something has been done beforehand to stop the effect of the magic. He recalls that Mash had thrown a stone at him before he cast that magic and immediately figures that Mash had used the stone to reduce the effect of his magic. He can't believe what he is thinking, and he immediately assumes that for Mash to be able to do so, then it means that Mash is the student they have been looking for all this while. He concentrates on Mash and asks him what he has done. Mash tells him that he needs to take Abyss for treatment and says that he will like it if the man doesn't disturb him as he does so. He tells him that if he does anything to stop Abyss from getting treatment, then he wouldn't find it easy. The man laughs at him and asks him what he will do. He tells him that there is no way Abyss can survive for more than 30 minutes, and if he wants to try him, then they should fight for 30 minutes. Mash hits his leg on the floor and all the floor breaks. The man sees this, and he is more amazed. He sees as Mash uses his legs to kick one of the stones, and the stone directly goes to hit the man. Contrary to what everyone there thinks, the man uses his hand to take the stone and shows them that he isn't injured. Weirdly, he takes the stone and starts licking it, making Mash wonder what kind of person he is. Mash asks him for permission to at least take Abyss for treatment, but he refuses, and he flies toward the other side of the building. He brings out his magic wand and invokes magic on Mash. He opens about 4 magic portals where several carbon muggets fall and attack Mash. Mash uses his legs to break the carbon muggets and tries to fight, which makes the man laugh at him and remind him that he was bragging some minutes ago that he was going to beat him. The strange man refuses to stop. He sees that Mash is powerless against the carbon muggets, and he assumes that Mash can't win. Mash also continues to break the attacks. He is hell-bent on winning that fight, if not for another reason but so that he can take Abyss for treatment. Looking at that fight, Abel figures there is no way Mash could win. He says that Mash isn't equal to the man in privileges, and he recalls the words of his mother, who had always told him that in life, several people are born with several privileges. These privileges aren't qualified, including looks, class, power, and so on. He wishes that Abyss hadn't interfered in that fight and says that Abyss should have sought out to survive on his own. He wonders why Abyss has tried to save him, and Mash answers him and says it is because Abyss feels lonely. He admits that Abyss has never felt like he could be in a situation of saving someone else and says Abyss felt he saw his master in danger for the first time and wanted to do something. Mash concludes that because of that, he would ensure he saves Abyss. Dot sees the way the fight is going, and he feels there is no way Mash could win. He wonders if he should leave where he is and help Mash but figures that if he does so, the sleeping students may be affected. The strange man also gets bored of how boring the fight is. He wants to kill Mash and finish his mission. On the other hand, Abyss opens his eyes and thinks about the first time he met Abel. He had been sent away by his parents since they found out about his devil eye, but when he met Abel, Abel was the first person who told him that he could use his devil's eye for something and told him he would be a tool. He never could want someone like that to die, and when he sees that there is no way they could win that fight, he tells Abel that he should escape while Mash fights the man. Abel remembers his mother's words again, how she told him that the fact that whatever he had is a privilege is what should make him ensure he treats others right. Abel concludes that his mother, Abel, and Mash are honorable people, and he would like to be like them. The strange man gets bored. He opens a new portal and calls out the advanced carbon heavy rain. When Dot sees that attack, he concludes that there is no way they could win. Fortunately, something stops the heavy rain from reaching Mash, and it is a magical creation that Abel has invoked. Abel tells the man that they aren't going to give up, and the man uses the carbon-heavy rain to destroy the magical creature. He asks Abel if he has more than that, but unknown to him that Mash has hidden in the head of the figure, and he comes out and hits the man's head. The man is shocked that someone could hit him. He admits that Mash is the first person who has succeeded in hitting his epidemics. He asks Mash what is his magic skill, and Mash says his skill is just power. The man brings out the magic mirror. A magic mirror is a powerful mirror that returns the attack of a person to the person who has sent the attack. Since he doesn't know Mash's magic power, he assumes that the mirror will send back whatever Mash uses at Mash. Even Dot and his friends are scared for Mash, but Mash uses his legs to break the mirror and hits the man's face. It is at that point that Dot, Finn, and Lemon realize that all the magic they have been thinking Mash has been doing isn't actually magic, and he has been using his body to fight. The strange man is also shocked. He sees a sign on his hand and recalls that he had headaches when he first saw Mash, which concludes his assumption that Mash is the boy he has been looking so. He breaks the wall and introduces himself to Mash's cell war and tells him that he will see Mash again, but he has to return at that moment. Well, Mash is glad that he is leaving. He turns to take Abyss to the hospital, but Abel tells him not to worry and says he will deal with Abyss himself. Before leaving, Abel appreciates Mash for saving them and says that he will surely repay the effort. Finn and Lemon walk to Mash, and they ask him if he really doesn't have any magic. They know that it could cause him issues if people find out in the magic school that he doesn't have any magical skills, and he trembles in front of them and tells them he can perform magic. When they figure he is lying, they decide to protect his secret. Dot is concerned that if the school finds out they are concealing such a secret, too, they could get expelled. As they talk, one of the tame students wakes and screams that he will report that Mash can't perform magic. It turns out the secret Mash has been hiding for years is about to be revealed, and he can't hide under that disguise again. At the series end, Selwar returns to his father to report to him. He tells him that he has found the person they have been looking for, and his father commands him to get the boy and retrieve him.